Hey there, I'm Dr. Angie, and this is my pug, Mr. Pugsley. Say hello, Pugsley. And in this video, I'm going to be answering pet parents' questions about CBD and diet. Let's get started. My first question comes from Whitney. Hey there, some hemp oils have omegas. Does this product, she means HempRx, have omegas since it does have hemp oil? Thanks, Whitney. So Whitney, yes, there technically would be a negligible amount of omega-3s in this hemp oil. I think that hemp is not the best source of omegas for cats and dogs. I would choose something like krill or fish oil. So I hope that answers your question. Annie writes, I've been researching online about CBD and cat health and your name popped up. You seem so incredibly knowledgeable, and if I lived in Boulder, I'd be at your office with my 3 cats in a flash. Thank you so much. However, I live in New York City, and I'm reaching out in hopes that you can help me, as my current vet, as wonderful as he is, doesn't know anything about CBD. One of my cats is 13 and a half and has been diagnosed with IBD. She was vomiting constantly and losing weight, and they ruled out everything else through tests, including a sonogram. She's been on prednisolone and Cerenia for a while and was taking it every few days up until recently when her symptoms got worse. And the vet told me to give her the meds every day now. She's happy and runs around and does not eat, but still projectile vomits. Oh, and does eat. Sorry, she's eating. Okay. But she still projectile vomits every couple of days, so I don't know how much food she's actually taking in. There are only a couple of brands of high-end grain-free food she can tolerate, so that's all she gets, both wet and dry. So my first thoughts about your kitty is that the IBD or inflammatory bowel disease isn't very controlled. And while you've done a lot of tests, I would recommend doing one more test, which is a biopsy. Usually they can do it with an endoscope, so they don't have to make an abdominal incision. And I would recommend doing that just to see what kind of cells are in there and to rule out other diseases like lymphoma. Sometimes really severe inflammatory bowel disease requires more medication than just prednisolone. Sometimes other drugs like budesonide or chlorambucil can be helpful. So I definitely would think about that. I'm hoping that CBD will help her, and it might help. It's worth a try, but if it doesn't, then I would move on to other things. I've read that it helps with inflammation, IBD, and holding on to food. I also saw that it helps with arthritis, which would be great for my 19-year-old cat. Yes, it's really great for arthritis. I feel like it's more dependable for arthritis than it is for inflammatory bowel disease. In terms of my kitty, though, I'm wondering if CBD oil might interact or even cancel out medications. Obviously, I wouldn't want to do that. No, we definitely don't want to do that. Right now, if you're just doing an appetite stimulant and steroids, there's no reason to believe that that would cancel it out or interact in any way. Just one more question. I ordered pet CBD oil from hempbombs.com before I heard back from you. The brand came highly recommended by a friend. Have you heard of it? Is it good? I'm guessing the dosage would be the same, and it's chicken flavored. That's pretty cool. I haven't heard of that brand, but anytime I'm assessing whether I'm going to use a hemp product, I first check to see where the hemp was grown. You want it to be grown in the United States and you want it to be grown organically. You want to find out how it was extracted. I prefer CO2 extraction. You want to find out if you can get a certificate of analysis so you know how much THC, CBD, and other phytocannabinoids are present. So the company should be able to give you that, and if they can't, I would move on. You want to make sure, sorry, hopefully the pug doesn't curl up on my mic. You want to make sure that you know how many milligrams of CBD are in each mil or whatever the unit of measurement is. So you want to make sure that you can do that. So if all of those check out and there's no THC, I think it might be a good product. It's really hard to say, and you definitely want to vet the company. Lori writes, I've been putting hemp oil in my cat's ear because I can't get it in his mouth. Is this effectively absorbed? I put 1 drop on my thumb and inside his ear on the skin. I've done thyroid meds this way. Yes, so you can do thyroid meds this way, especially because they have a special delivery system. We don't know if you can give CBD transdermally or across the skin effectively yet. Probably some of it's absorbed because it's lipophilic, but I don't know that you would get as much across the skin barrier as you would if you gave it orally. We'll know that maybe soon, maybe the next 5 years. Dale writes, I've been trying to learn more about CBD for pets, reading all I can, and friends are starting to ask me questions about it. A little knowledge is a dangerous thing, so I don't give advice. I've directed a few folks to your website, which is the most comprehensive I've seen. Thank you, Dale. I wonder if it's known whether CBD is good for diabetic cats or not. I'm not sure. We don't have any studies to show that it's beneficial or not beneficial. Also, I read somewhere not to use CBD if a pet has liver or kidney issues. Do you agree? I don't agree. There's nothing to suggest that CBD shouldn't be used in liver or kidney disease. There was one study out of CSU with just a few dogs, and there was one liver enzyme that got slightly elevated during the study, but no other liver function test showed any problem. So I'm not sure that that's a real problem, and I use it frequently in cats with kidney disease, also with no problems. Any interactions with meds or supplements? Not that I know of. I'm careful with medications like Prozac, and I'm also careful with seizure medications. We don't know that we need to be careful yet, but I just go very slowly and have not had a problem yet. I'd like to start him on CBD and ordered the HempRx chews before reading that it may not be good for my boy. If CBD is no good for him, I know folks with pets who will take these treats. I think it's okay. Note that Connecticut vets are not allowed to recommend or prescribe CBD. Thanks for sharing your knowledge. You're welcome, Dale. If you have any other questions, please email me at Angie@boulderholisticvet.com. Carolyn writes, Angie, I started Maddie on balanceit.com, and that's a website where you can make your own diet for your dog or cat and balance it with their vitamin and mineral mix. She started Maddie on balanceit.com, and then she's been happy with it, except she doesn't like the supplement. So this happens every once in a while where they don't like the vitamin mineral mix because vitamins and minerals just don't taste that good. They do have a more palatable version. I think it's called like Carnivore Blend. You could get on the website and check it out. So I would try that. So she doesn't like the supplement, and then she's gained weight. So if that happens, either you can reduce the food or you can get on the website and your veterinarian can help you design a recipe that is less caloric and more designed for weight loss. Meg writes, I'm wondering about sourcing CBD oil for cats. I've not jumped on the CBD bandwagon, but I'm being told that I should. I'm an animal intuitive, and I think you sell it. I got some for my cat previously and feel it may have been through you. He passed before I was able to use it. I'm so sorry to hear that. And yes, we do sell HempRx, and it's a brand that I really like. And it's important with this ever exploding market of CBD products for pets that you do your research and you know where the hemp was grown. HempRx, the hemp was grown in Colorado Springs. It's grown organically. It's extracted with CO2, and you know what's in each bottle. I have a certificate of analysis for both HempRx and HempRx Forte. So we know exactly how much CBD, how little THC is in there, and other therapeutic compounds like terpenes. We can measure those. We also know that there are no pesticides or any other chemicals. And so it's really important that you have that information. The FDA did a study in 2015 of products both labeled for people and for pets, and they did show that a lot of the claims on the label were not matching up to what was actually in the bottle. So maybe they said there was CBD in there and there was not as much CBD, or maybe it said no THC, but there was actually THC present. And so that can get dangerous. So you definitely want to make sure you know where your CBD or your hemp is coming from. James writes, we recently purchased some I and Love and You Naked Essentials for our adopted retired racing greyhound, Gary. Oh my gosh, Gary's amazing. I've seen pictures of Gary. Let's see. One review, so they bought it from Chewy's, and one review said the protein content of 34% was too high for domestic dog. Our Gary isn't just any domestic dog, since he's a retired racing greyhound, and he's a special breed. Could you address this? What, in your opinion, is the optimal amount of protein a dog should be eating? So this is a great question that we get quite frequently. So there's really no ideal amount of protein for dogs. There's definitely a minimum. Most foods meet that, but when we get into higher proteins or higher protein levels, if it's too much, then the body just gets rid of it. And so we don't have to worry about too much protein unless we have kidney disease or if we're not getting enough other essential nutrients. And so it's kind of a tricky question, and I think it's very dog specific and weight specific. Also, when you think about looking at the back of your bag or when you're looking at canned food, it's really hard to compare one to the other. It's important that you take all of the information on the canned label and convert it to a dry matter basis, because that's what you're looking at for a kibble. Or if you're looking at a raw diet, you need to take that and convert it all to a dry matter basis before you start comparing. So I hope that helps. Kevin writes, I'm curious if cats build up a tolerance to CBD oil. My cat is currently dealing with chronic pancreatitis. I thought we were out of the pits when I started giving her appetite stimulant cyproheptadine, but she quickly developed a tolerance for it and now is back to not eating. Any insights would be appreciated. Kevin, I'm so sorry. Chronic pancreatitis in cats is so hard, and when they stop eating, it just can get really frustrating and scary. I haven't seen or appreciated any cats becoming tolerant of CBD. I haven't noticed that I needed to increase dose or that it became less effective over time. Hopefully studies will tell us whether that is true or not. But I think that the appetite stimulant aspect of CBD just continues to last. So let me know how it goes. The other thing that you could try is Serenia. Serenia is great for cats with pancreatitis, and you could talk to your vet about starting that. If you have questions you'd like me to answer, you can email me at Angie@boulderholisticvet.com, and I will talk to you next week.